Tyreese McAllister, the therapist on the mic, bringing mental health wisdom, shining bright like a light. Guiding souls to peace, leading minds to the right. With her codes by her side, they soar to new heights. Marcy Trueheart in the mix, mental health advocate, speaking truth, sparking change, grinding like a maverick. Empowering minds, lifting spirits, it's never too late. Together with the crew, just trying to do great. Jamie Tyler in the house, a TV star, champion mental health, taking it far, sharing stories, inspiring minds, raising the bar, with codes by the side, reaching for the stars. Thursday therapy, breaking stigmas all around. With this crew, they here for the town. Mental health help, spreading love profound. Their voices echo loud with a resounding sound. Thursday therapy, here to make a change, spreading love, sharing knowledge in a world so strange. Tyreese, Marcy, Jamie on this mental health range, standing united this far from a game.
Hey, y'all.
What's up? What's up?
So I know
everybody.
Every time I hear the song, but I love that song for us. I love this for us.
That's our intro
and
song.
I love it for the people. Yes. And I love it for the people, though, because the feedback that we get from doing this show, you know, like it's an hour out of our time. Well, for the most part, because it takes time to like figure out guests and all of that. But, you know, an hour a week that we dedicate to people is really changing lives. Like the feedback that I've gotten is so amazing. So if you're listening, keep it going. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want to know about as it relates to mental health. Because we appreciate it and we want to make sure that we're doing a service for the people. This not really about us. This is really about how do we continue to serve the people who want the information.
Yep.
All right, guys, y'all know what time it is. What y'all do this week? Week.
I can.
I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
Look, I'm excited. So my husband and I went to New York to see the play Hell's Kitchen. We celebrated our 33rd anniversary. Yay, us. But the play was amazing. It's a story about Alicia Keys' life growing up in Hell's Kitchen, New York. And we went to this amazing Jamaican restaurant afterward, Jasmine's, great oxtails. Like I felt like I was in Jamaica. So that was exciting. But really what I want to talk about is what I did today. So Jamie and I had a business meeting, which went really well. Yay, for the work that we're doing out in the community, because we are truly serving. And so happy about that. But after my meeting, I went to serve DC firefighters and police. There's an organization called Food on the Stove. And they provide, you know, firefighters usually work 24 hours. They stay at the fire station and they're known for cooking and you know, eating, right? Different than different kind of schedule than police. But so they are meeting the needs of firefighters, their mental health and their physical health through food. So we, this organization, and the guy who started it is a firefighter, fed the firefighters and police. And they had a guy who worked on team building. He was amazing how he talked about the teamwork. And then I came up with my mental health stuff and it was well received. Like I was just so excited about the reception that I received for it. And like people are really hungry for this information. We do not consider the trauma that firefighters, police officers deal with on an everyday basis. So that was appreciated. And then the gentleman also had an art therapist there. And when I say grown men and women, but grown men playing in art stuff, and really like getting it. Oh my God, it was so beautiful to see. So if you are my friend on Facebook, check my page out because I couldn't wait to post it. So anyway, that's what I did. Thank y'all for letting me share.
That's dope.
All right.
You want Marcy or you want me to go?
Mine is real quick. This weekend I danced, was in community with my belly dance sisters, and I just danced the weekend away, and now my kneecaps hurt. But hey, I had fun.
Remind me when we get together to share some stuff with you that I just started using for those kneecaps, girl. We're going to get our bodies all the way together.
Well, all right. But also for this weekend, I'm excited because I'm taking my concealed and carry class with your nephew,
Michael Hubbard.
So I after this weekend, I'll be licensed. I keep saying licensed to kill. Everybody say Marcy is licensed to kill.
License to carry, Marcy.
Don't kill
Licensed to
nobody.
carry. Okay.
Tuffy, slow down.
Okay. But I'm excited to be able for nephew to just teach me. And I love he has so many different things that he's teaching in the course. It's a 2-day class, 16 hours. Over the 2 days.
Really is a good instructor too. He really is.
Oh,
I'm not saying that because he's my nephew. I'm saying that because I've taken 3 classes and he's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't kick me out though. I'm gonna behave.
Well, don't say license to kill because that's gonna get
Don't
you
say
kicked
that. Say stop. You train to speak to stop.
I will be licensed to protect myself against any. Yeah.
Stop. Remember the word stop. You want to stop the threat. That's it.
Stop. Okay, I'll be licensed to stop the threat.
That'll help you in court. Trust me.
Oh, okay. I ain't going to court. I ain't gonna pay no more.
You kill somebody.
We recorded. We recorded.
Oh.
Right.
Oh no, I'm protected. I'm just gonna have it in my arms.
I tried to stop the threat. Listen to me. Trust me.
That's right.
Definitely.
Because Jamie knows.
Jamie knows. He knows.
I mean, I don't know what would happen, but I just stopped the threat.
I felt threatened.
Is what happened. What happened was. So that's it, Marcy. It's my
Jamie,
turn.
what you been up to? Yes.
Oh man. So earlier in the week, we took Jason to Baltimore, right outside of Morgan State, where he's starting his work readiness program. So
okay, Jace.
Exciting.
Yeah, we took that drive up there, and he just came home today. He said it went good, made some new friends, and he didn't like the food. You know, Jason gonna complain about something, but so he'll be doing that for the next 6 weeks until it's with the Doors program, which he spoke about on the show. So he's full steam ahead with his independence and trying to get out on his own. So we couldn't be more proud of that. The 202 had a whole media run. 202 Imperial. So we did Living Local, and shout out to Karina and Sharice for having us talk about that. We talked about the Galentine's pop-up event Sunday, where we'll have a tasting and be selling bottles and signing bottles, taking pictures. So anybody
Sunday
at 3 to 6 at the Eloquent Touch Ballroom. And then we did Fox 5 with Stephen Graddick. Shout out to him for having us. And we talked about, it was National Drink Wine Day. So he had us on to talk about the new wine.
So
Marcy, did you know that?
I saw it.
Drink Wine Day?
No, well, any day is National Drink Wine Day to me. So, but I saw it when Jamie and Arena was on. I was like, it's so exciting. So I know it's 3. It's the Arena likes the rosé.
It's the rosé, the demi-sec, and the brut.
And the brut, okay. Yeah. I think the brut is what they were selling at. What they had at the launch.
The launch, we had all of them in there, actually. What
I was drinking, because I drank 1.5. I said, whoa.
Yeah, they're gonna get you right now. They're gonna get you right.
Which one is the sweet one?
That's this one. That's the rosé.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one.
I'm gonna have a little bit while we get into these.
Are y'all gonna have bottles Saturday?
Sunday.
No, Saturday. You got something Saturday. Irena's event Saturday. The pop-up.
That's Sunday.
Oh, the pop-up is Sunday.
Yeah, 23rd.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Y'all gonna have on Sunday?
We'll have cases to sell and sample, and we'll be signing bottles that people purchase and take pictures and all that good stuff. And lastly, what did I do? Oh, I was with you today in that amazing meeting, and I'm excited about that. And the rest of the weekend is looking like stuff going on, but what else is new? And
of course,
we another day in this new administration of just being stressed out. So it's always good to see you guys on Thursday to relax. Yeah,
speaking of that, I want to share something. I think I had shared last week that, couple of weeks going with the new administration has kind of stressed me out because all of my clients have been stressed out and worried. And what I shared, and I want to share it again, is that, you know, it's okay not to be okay about the things that are going on. It's certainly, I give space to people who are struggling because their fear of losing their job, they may have lost their jobs. You know, it's just topsy-turvy. You don't know what's going on. Lots of government workers have had to report back into the office. One of my clients said she ain't been in the office in 5 years. So this is going to be different for her, right? Not to mention the money, not to mention I bought a dozen of eggs the other day that was $11. Y'all heard me, $11 for a dozen of eggs. Yes. Well, of course I got it on Instacart, so it's a little bit more expensive anyway, but eggs shouldn't be $10 either. So you know, just considering that there's a lot going on, and definitely feel the feelings. I just want to make sure people know it's definitely okay to feel the feelings, but it's not okay to stay there. We've got to figure out what is in your sphere of influence. One of the things I have my clients do is write a circle on a piece of paper, a big circle. And inside the circle, you write all the things that you have influence over, or that you can change, or that you can do differently, something that you can make a difference in. And then on the outside of the circle, there are things that, like, it's just out of your sphere of influence, right? Like, I cannot do anything about who is currently the president. I can't do anything about that. But what I can do is, if there's some issues, I don't have to stay in this country. Like, that is an option, right? Another option is that I can change, like, people are talking about the price of groceries. I can change how I eat. They're talking that they've removed DEI. So Target and everybody, I think it's the 28th, nobody buy anything from anywhere, but especially Target. But I don't have to shop at Target. I can turn my credit card, my Target card, back into them and tell them, no, thank you. Do not send me any emails or mailers. I'm not interested until you get your DEI together, right? So those are things that we can do. I just don't want people to lose hope and to feel powerless. There are things that we can do. So we know RFK made it into into the administration. He was confirmed, and so people are concerned about their children getting vaccinations. And it might be true that he may stop that, like, and we may not be able to do anything about it, but what you can do is make sure that your children are healthier. So that also means no processed foods, no sugars, no candies. How do you keep you and your kids healthy? By having an alkaline body, right? So I've done some research on it because that's what's in my sphere of influence. That's what I could do to lessen my chance of getting anything, is to make sure that my body is not accepting of diseases or colds or other things, because we just don't know. So I want people to start thinking of, like, not what you can't do, what's really bad about what's going on, but what are the things that you literally can do to change for yourself. Same thing, you might be losing your job. Can you get another job? Can you do something else? Can you start a business? Right. I think we've gotten real comfortable thinking we work for certain companies, federal government, and that we just have a job. Well, gone are the days. Gone are the days. You're not teaching history, Black history, in schools anymore. Well, they ain't really did that great of a job teaching it in the first place, because one, it's only once a month and it starts with enslavement. So can we educate ourselves so that we can now teach our children our real history and not it be whitewashed? So I just want to encourage everybody who's listening, that there are things that we can do. And I want you guys to think about what you can do and how to work through it. And if you still struggle, because that can be a thing, then definitely see a therapist, that said, so that you have somebody you could talk to about it, and develop some higher level coping skills, because we got 4 or more years of this. Okay, so thank you for letting me be on my little soapbox about that, but that's real. I wanted to make sure we got that in too.
And what I wanted to say, like, we were going to have Delegate Karen Tolles with us today, but she is she's at the House in Maryland, and 2 of her bills that she's written are on the floor. They're being voted on right now. So she had to postpone. But what I also want to know, like you said, Black history. She is making Black history. She's making women's history. So we want to continue to keep our leaders, our Black leaders, our men and our women. We want to keep them covered in prayer, because it's even harder to be in that position now. And we just welcome when Delicate Toes comes to the virtual couch, as she'll be able to talk about more of the bills that she had to put on for Maryland to improve Maryland. So just, and just give her a shout out. But she's not here, but we have two amazing guests. Oh my goodness. We're not going to tell you, I'm not going to go into their bio, but Jamie is going to give us a brief bio, and we're going to bring them on in.
Yeah. So, so our first guest, good friend of mine, been around him for years. He's an author, well-dressed, groomed young man. Mr. Joe Braxton has joined us. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how are you, everyone?
Good.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
We want to thank you for joining us today. And Joe has an amazing story, and I'll turn it over to him to introduce himself.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me, everyone. So I'm Joe Braxton. I'm from the Baltimore, Maryland area. I'll give you a brief of my background. I went to school for massage therapy, but before that, I did get molested when I was 10 years old by a family member. And I dealt with that, or kept that secret in for so many years before releasing it in my book. I wrote it when I was in my 30s. And mind you, I harbored that secret for so many years due to, our community stigmas, shame, fear, guilt, and also being groomed, so a lot of that, plays into, I guess, how Black men deal with, when it comes to like mental health and releasing your pain, showing emotions, things like that. So I did release, after, dealing with therapy. Also, a lot of people know I did some prison time, because also throughout this time, I was running away from myself because I didn't want to face who I was. And I wrote my books, Still Breathing, How to Gain Your Life After Being Robbed, which I shared, some very deep details of my story. And this book has, helped so many others, release their stories. And I thought my story was something, and they shared their stories with me, and I said, wow, so I'm grateful that I was able to write this book. And I also wrote a few kids' books. And last year I just released Healing Therapy, which complements my first book. So Healing Journal, that complements my first book. So and that's where I'm now. I'm on a positive healing journey, trying to inspire others, encourage others to keep going, and to know that their lives matter. So, and that's where we are.
Wow. Appreciate you.
Joe, first of all, oh my God, thank you so much for sharing that. So I've been a therapist for 30 years, and I actually do sex offender treatment as well. So I work a lot with a lot of men, and I have heard the stories as a therapist. But there's so much shame and embarrassment that people won't talk about it, but yet you've written a book. And I always say for an author that when you write your book, it's never for yourself. It really, like it's healing in it though. But it is for people who are waiting to hear your story, to resonate with your story. So first of all, I'm sorry that you went through that, but I'm so grateful that you took the pain of that and turned it around for something good. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, to write a book of your hurt, and to be vulnerable, that right there is, it takes courage. I was in an anthology, and I was writing about divorce, which, but I was also in the thick of the hurt, the shame, the anxiety. But to write in that moment, it takes so much. It takes so much, but it also gives you so much freedom. And it allows you to release what no longer serves you. So I am so happy for the healing journey that you're on and the people who follow your healing journey.
Thank you.
Can you tell us and tell our listening audience what is the thing? What is there one thing or more than one thing that made you decide that you would seek healing?
I think I hit a point of major depression. It was like a wall that it was like it couldn't get any more, couldn't get darker. So I hit that point, and I realized something has to give. Either I'm going to release this, or I'm going to sorry to say kill myself. But and so after going through therapy, I still wasn't given the honest truth of what happened to me. And so um, I said I finally had to release it. So when I wrote the book, um, I went into a slight depression, mental depression after writing the book, because I'm like, wow, what did I just do? I just released this story. I just put all this in this book. Now people are going to be judging me. People are going to be, it just, it played with my mental for a while, and it sent me to another dark place. But when people start telling me how my book, encouraged them to find healing or find self-love or want to help others, or give the book as a gift or tool to help others that they know are dealing with the same situation or trauma, any traumatic experiences or depression. So it's just, it started when I went into that dark place. I just was like, I can't go through this anymore. I have to change. Something has to change. And I wrote the book, and now been on a healing journey for a few years now. And also another thing that helps me, I drink my mushroom coffee, and it helps my mood, my focus. So it just, I do things that help me, keep me on a positive, and keep me in a positive place. So things like that. So.
Also, are you still in therapy?
I talk to a therapist every now and then, but I try to wean myself off of like dealing with any medications like that. So, and I journal a lot more now. But therapy is a must. So I want to say you must go to therapy. So, but I'm in a place where now is like, I'm not going back to where I was. So I'm stronger enough now that I can, I can do it as long as I, have my support system, journaling, and stand on a positive, positive in a positive place. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Of course, I agree that therapy is a must, right? And that people really should look into it. People really run away from it, and you don't have to have anything wild to have happened to you. Like it's a good place to go where you could talk to somebody who's not judging you, who's listening, somebody who advocates for you, and sees in you a lot of time what you don't see in yourself. So shout out to your therapist who got you to do that. And they obviously have you doing some really good things, because journaling is a definite good supplement. Medication, I heard you mention that. That's a good supplement to therapy. Just and taking care of yourself, like the mushroom coffee, or just doing things to keep your body healthy, is also very good for your mental health. Getting rest. So thank you for sharing that.
Yep, thank you.
I had a question for Joe. For the people listening, is it a website or is it on Amazon? So Doc can probably put that link up so people can get it.
Yeah. So Still Breathing, my book and my kids' books are both on Amazon and Kindle. Still Breathing is also on barnesandnoble.com. My latest, The Healing Journal, it's on lulu.com, but everything's under I have a link tree posted on all my social media sites. So it's linktree/Joe Braxton. So Yep.
And I also want to commend you for your being vulnerable. I think when I got on national TV and exposed my life to millions of people, I was kind of hesitant, but like you said, it wasn't for me. When I noticed when I was out in public, a lot of people could relate to my family or having a child with a disability or 30-year marriage or whatever things were going on in the Tyler house, people could relate. So how does that make you feel when people come up to you and say, man, your book saved me or whatever they might say?
It's a very humbling experience. It makes me feel grateful that I I put something in the world out in the world that it's a tool that's a useful tool that can help people, start their healing journey. And it gets me emotional because I went through a lot just to put this out there, and it it makes you feel like you have a purpose. You have purpose in this life. That you're actually, we're here to just share love. We're here to inspire. We're here to, and it gave me a purpose. I feel like I had a purpose to push people, to heal and know that there is better days are ahead. And I also want to commend you and Arena too for what you do for Jason. It brings me to tears every time I think about that, because I know there's so many other parents out here who will give up on their kids, and I commend y'all all the time. So
Appreciate it, man. That's my little buddy. He probably listening. He listening every week. So.
Oh yeah, he our number one.
He's our biggest fan.
He's our biggest fan. And I want to real quick, Aunt Bitsy, Ida, thank you, because she's our second biggest fan. So it's Jason first, hands down, and then my Aunt Bitsy.
Okay.
Yes, and we have some other people viewing. My cousin Katira, my cousin Shambe, they both in North Carolina. I see my friend Kelly and my friend Denise is watching. Thank y'all. And I'm not sure who Kimberly Sue Blair is, but thank you for showing up and watching. We appreciate you. Joe, I have another question. For you. What is there any advice you would give a parent who has discovered that their child, especially a male child, but any child really, who has been molested? Any advice? Because I think that's one of the things that parents really struggle with, is how to respond appropriately. Like you've heard of stories where parents didn't believe the kid, or they went off and did something, and then it brings more destruction to the situation. So what would you say?
I would say just because we don't know what traumatic experiences the parents have gone through. So they may have gone through the same thing, and it's like, oh Lord, it hits them like my child's going through it too. So it's just, I just want them to I would like them to just stay strong, be supportive as they can, and always believe survivors. I know it's been hard these days. So many people are telling false stories, but you got to believe them to a sense for them to have enough strength to come and share that, be comfortable enough to share that something happened to them, and they came to you as a parent, to protect them. So, but these days parents have to be more protective of their kids and be more into their lives and what they're doing, because anything can happen, So I just would like them to be more supportive, and just show their kids that they're there for them, no matter what, and they have their backs, and the parents have to be strong too, and get through that. So it's very tough. It's a very tough experience. So yeah.
It is. And it is tough on families too. One of the things that I think is important that I've seen is that people consider protecting little girls, but oftentimes little boys get molested too. And that sex assaults or sexual abuse is the least reported crime that's done most often. And a lot of times people don't look like the weird, creepy person hanging out, tree boxing at the school. Oftentimes it's people we never expect, that our kids really gravitate towards. And that is often how they get away with it. So, for parents, you have a new significant other in your life. You got to be careful. You got to ask questions. You got to get to know them before you leave your kids alone with them, or before they have access to your children without you. You also have to have conversations with your children, which can be a little difficult, but it's a necessary conversation. What is good touch? What is bad touch? Who should touch you? And if anybody touches you and you feel uncomfortable, you let me know. We also, now I think this age group, this generation does it a lot better than maybe my parents did. But you know how you had that aunt or uncle or your mama's friend or your daddy's friend, and they make you hug them and kiss them, and the kid is standing there stiff like they don't want to touch them, and you making them, parents are like, no, if they don't want to hug or touch, like, it's okay, right? Like, and we got to let our kids know that, they get to say what's okay for their bodies and stuff. And if other people are uncomfortable, oh well, they adults, they'll get over it, right? And we also got to consider that sometimes children who've been molested also then will molest or expose children in their same age group to sexual behaviors. And so even sometimes we think kids are just playing, but like my mama used to say, what y'all doing in there? Y'all too quiet, right? You want to be aware of that, because it's not always adults who expose your kids to sexual stuff. Sometimes it's kids of the same age. So, that whole knowing who I hated that my mother needed to know all my friends. I hated it. Like, why you need to know them? But as a parent, I get it. Like, I want to know them. I want to know their families, right? And what they're about. And I think those are things that are important.
Yeah. Right. And I also want to also pay attention to your kids. If they start acting weird, they start acting distant, they can just get like really quiet, because I remember growing up, I just became like real independent. It made me grow up faster than I should have. So I would do a lot of stuff on my own. I wouldn't talk to anyone. And you just got to pay attention to those signs too. Because I wish I would have had the strength, to say something back then, and my life would probably went a different route, So, yeah.
Hey, Joe,
So
quick
you
question.
also, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, did the individual was he ever held accountable for what happened, or?
No. So I wrote the book, kind of not criminating them, so I changed the names, but they knew the book were about them. I also wanted them to get a sense of feeling of how what they did how it affected my life, and maybe that would, ring something in their head. It's like, yeah, this is wrong, but I don't think that worked, because I kind of think they were molested as well, but they never would admit it. But all I wanted was an apology. They couldn't do that. And so that's kind of, I was like, I'm dealing with something like a narcissist here. So, and I just, after that, so it's been about 2-3 years of no contact. I had to do it for myself, because I had a time where I felt vulnerable, and I called them, and I met up with them, and and I felt so bad after, because I felt like I failed, but after that, then I almost got carjacked 2 years ago, and I called them because it's something inside of me felt like that was my protection for so many years, what I felt like. And so I called them after I almost got carjacked, and they told me, won't you write, because my book is called Still Breathing: How to Regain Your Life After Being Robbed. They told me, why don't you write a sequel to your book? How did I still breathe? How did life after getting robbed? Almost robbed. So they told me, write a sequel to my book. After this book that I wrote about them, after they robbed me of my innocence. So he told me, write a book. And that kind of it's like, wow, like you're a monster. And so that made me realize, I got to stay away from them. So after, like I said, I had about 2-3 years no contact, and I've been fine with it. I'm on my healing journey, and so you got to stay stronger than those those when you those vulnerable moments. So
yeah.
yeah.
So Joe, do you have any children?
No.
Okay.
I won't want to bring any children to this world. No.
But
I get it.
You would be a phenomenal father. You would be a
I
phenomenal
get it
father.
though.
Thank you. Even though I do think about it a lot, I say I'll be 45 in May. I say I'm getting older, so I think I'm a little too old right now.
No, Janet Jackson had a baby at 50.
But she can afford that. She's
Right. That part.
Yes.
That's why I still look. I'm still telling my husband I can't move nothing heavy. I'm at childbearing age. Thank you, Janet Jackson, for allowing me to extend that. I'm not having any children, but I am at childbearing age. I wanted to mention something about there's this thing called adverse childhood experiences. And it really it's a questionnaire, it's 10 questions, and it really talks about things that happen to children from 0 to 17, and sexual molestation is one of the one of the indicators that children will act out. And you had mentioned that you had done some time in prison. And so given that, knowing that being molested can also be a risk factor, do you think that is something that contributed to you acting out?
Yeah, I was running away from myself, following the wrong crowds. It was like I was running from the truth of the trauma that I was dealing with, or the hurt, the pain. I wanted to be somebody else. I didn't want to face who I was. Didn't want to face the pain, all the hurt. I was dealing with inside. I was just, I don't know, just it was a moment that I would never want to go through again. So yeah. But I'm glad I'm past that point. So yeah.
And I'm glad that you were able to get through it, because a lot of times people cannot. They get on a bad road, and it is very hard to turn back, even with support. What do you think was some of the protective factors that got you to where you are now? Were there positive people or things that happened in your life that got you to turn it around?
I think my mom has been a great support system. I have a lot of family members who've been supportive, friends, the people who've read my books. They keep me going, and knowing my worth, knowing that I matter, knowing that I deserve to be here, knowing that I deserve to see better days. That keeps me focused, and to keep going. So I'm grateful for all that. So yeah. Hope I answered.
All right, we're gonna put you in a green room, but before we do that, I want to just give out the number to the sexual assault hotline. It's confidential. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, and that number is 1-800-656-4673. 1-800-656-4673. And they can give you the supports that are local to your area. I didn't want to just give them out for Maryland, although Prince George's County has the first sexual assault center in the state of Maryland. Yay, Prince George's County. But we know we have people who listen to us all over the country and in other countries. Yay, shout out to international exposure. But we want to make sure that people have that number, so that if this is something that you are dealing with, then you could call and get the support and help that you need. Joe, thank you so much. We will have you back in a few minutes. Hang out in the green room for us, okay? All right. All right, guys, that was good. Thank you so much. Yeah. So look, we got another guest.
And I didn't even know his story like that. Wow.
He seems like a remarkable guy, for sure.
So yeah,
all right. So Jamie, who else we got?
We got another amazing gentleman, good friend of mine, super fly. Whenever you see him, he's gonna be fly. Owns several churches. Great husband, funny, king of social media. No other than Bishop Vance Oldes. What's up, my brother?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Bishop.
How are you?
Good to see everybody.
You too.
Before I start, I just want to clear the airwaves and tell everybody if you're going to pray, don't worry. And if you're going to worry, don't pray.
That's it.
And I promise to tell the
That's all.
truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. So
Amen.
y'all doing good?
We
Yes.
doing good.
Amazing.
Great.
Now, this is
Great.
another gentleman with an amazing story. I don't even want to try to tell it. He can tell it. Tell us all about Bishop Oldes. I know it,
Okay.
but I know they don't, and the people listening.
Okay. Normally I start from the beginning, but I'm going to start at the ending of where I am today, is embracing my self-worth. I have a tool that I use, a phrase that I use, that my self-worth is not connected to my net worth. In other words, what I have doesn't label who I am. And for so many years, I dressed up the outside because Vance didn't feel good on the inside. And drugs, substance abuse was never my problem. It was a symptom of my problem. I just didn't know how to deal with the person God created me. And I thought my self-worth was in stuff. But all the time, my self-worth was on the inside in God. And so I traveled many different journeys to get where I am. I'll be 60 years old this year. I've been drug-free for 31 years. But I've done some things in my past that was so bad, I would steal your money and help you look for it.
Wow.
But God
I
had
got
a
a
way
cousin
to
like
do
that.
I got an aunt like that.
Well, all of us have somebody in our family that have suffered with some type of stress, struggle, or strain. Mine just happened to be substance abuse. Started in Washington. I'm born and raised here in the city. And byproduct of my community, always wanted to be hip, slick, and down, and found myself in some situations that I'm not proud of, but I was couraged enough to be able to vocal them and to get free. One of the greatest things that keep me free, even from myself today, is the ability to tell on myself. That's one thing I wanted to commend my brother of having the courage and the boldness to share his story, because I'll go through, you're right, it's not for you. David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that I will fear no evil. So people often ask me, what do I do? I'm going through. I say, well, keep on going through. Don't stop, because you will get through it if you keep on going. And that's what I want to say with the world today, because we all over the place in disparity. People are fearful. People are going through changes. And those of us that are believers of God, we got to hold on to our faith, because the enemy wants to plant fear in us. What's going to happen? How it's going to turn out? People losing their job. I don't know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. Those are us that believe in God, have your relationship, because we're gifted in so many different ways. We're gifted to talk, we're gifted to teach, we're gifted to do this. But, my preaching was birthed out of my gift, but my prayer was birthed out of my relationship. My relationship with God developed through the pain and the struggle of my life, that when I had no other way to go, when I ran out of all of my exhausted attempts, then I decided to call on something greater than me. And I can testify, he came and he pulled me up, pulled me out. And here I am today, telling the whole world. I remember being in my jail cell, facing 20 years, no parole, because I got 3 distribution charges in the Maryland area for selling narcotics. And I told the Lord, I said, if you get me out of this one, I was serious this time. I said, if you get me out of this one, I promise you I'll tell the world. And God allowed me the platform to tell the world. Wrote my book, From Cocaine to Collar. I promised God I would tell them. People say, why you tell your story so much? It's a vow I made to God, because he kept his promise to me. He got me out. So I'm going to keep his promise to him. So I tell the story wherever I go, that it wasn't me. It wasn't my mama. It wasn't my daddy. It wasn't my friends. It was God that pulled me out. And the same God can pull me out of drug addiction, can pull you out of your addiction. But you got to get honest. You got to let it out. You got to be who you are. And he'll turn it around. And that's my story. And so skated all over the world. I got arrested literally on my skates in 1993. That was my last drug charge. I got arrested selling the undercover 2 crack rocks. And they gave me marked money while on skates. And 30 years later, right, 2020, the pandemic hit, I put on those same skates, and God took my life all over the world. But nobody knows 30 years before I got locked up on skates. They literally called my name Skates in the hood. So God can take whatever you're doing and use it to give him some glory. And it's his story. He just used me in it. I didn't know 1993 we would be in a pandemic. So that was nobody but God. So he would use our go through to help somebody else. And that's my story. And that's what I teach every day. Every day. I do a prayer call every day. I do a daily dose every day to encourage people, especially in these times. I know my assignment to encourage people. Don't quit. See, we have a proclivity to get together, our people, when we under attack. But sometimes we don't get together when we are amazing. We get together when we're down, but somehow or another, we don't get together when we're amazing. And that's my call today, to bring us back together as a people, that we can strive together and come alongside together, support one another. Like they banned in Target, but next couple of weeks they'll be there. If we had our own business, we can transfer that money, and that money would never go back there. And so we got to come together and begin to support each other. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love
Any
it.
questions?
And I stand in agreement with you, because we're going to have to do something different, right? Like the 28th is coming, but we should not be going back to Target. We should put our
Right.
money together and do co-ops and things like that we could support each other. And that's what I've started doing, trying to look at, like, where can I, what are the things in my influence? What can I do? And so, yeah, that's where I'm at. Thank you for that message.
Thank you so much. And I left a lot of holes in it. I didn't want to run up your time, but there's some
We're gonna
stories
have
that,
you back, so you can
yeah,
just give us some more. You can give us
yeah, I
more
can
meat
give
to the
it all,
story.
give it all
Yes.
to you. I didn't want your eyes be full of tears, so I was a little easy on you tonight.
Oh, bless you, bless you. And you know what? In the morning when I get up, and of course I thank God, but what I also say is, God, I thank you for making me even more amazing than you made me yesterday, and I thought that was impossible, but yet I'm still amazing. I'm even more amazing. So I thank God, but I also make sure that before my feet hit the ground, I speak and Tyreese, I speak luxury words to myself. So
Yeah,
that's something that I have to do. It's mandated for my life.
yeah. So I believe that everybody have their own personal relationship with their God on their own. I don't press anybody out about that. I just allow God to, live my life through his grace, and maybe somebody else will be able to impart in that. So I'm grateful. So
And
I
what
got
I
a
love
question.
too.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I got a question for Bishop. So when the pandemic hit, everybody was going through it mentally. The world was just crazy. And I tell the story that my wife and I got on TikTok and started doing those skits to kind of take our mind off the pandemic and all the problems going on in the world. And I believe that's when I discovered your page, with you skating. And I was like, my man, get it. And then from that day on, I just was following your journey with social media. And I wanted to ask you, and the people listening, was that a mental thing for you when you got on there, or you just by chance was skating and recording and it just went viral, or is that your outlet for your mental state, skating? And
actually, skating is therapeutic. Actually, I'm working on a program now with some mental stuff, because what skating does while you're skating, if you're a skater, it gives you a moment of release. And then if you get a moment of release while you're skating, because when you're skating, you're not thinking about anything, especially if you're a beginner. The only thing you're thinking about is not falling, right? So it gives you a moment, right? It gives you a moment of release. And then if you get a moment of release, you can get a moment of relief. And then if you get a moment of relief, you can get a moment of reflection. You get a moment of reflection, then you probably get restored. And then once you're restored, you can start rebuilding your life. So yeah, when I was skating during the pandemic, was that good or what? Was that good?
I'm ready write it down, Brian. I'm write
you
it
ran the
down.
numbers up, man. I saw you and I was like, 900,000 followers following one person. Like, who is this man? And
And like I said, it wasn't me. It was just something that And I tell people this all the time, God will use what you normally do. We weren't trying to press it out. My wife wanted to go to the beach one day. First of all the skating rinks was closed. So we were skating outside. And we were looking for smooth places to skate, right? And my wife wanted to go to the beach. Let me plug this in. It's good to listen to the voice of your wife. Those of y'all watching.
Say it again for the people in the back. Say it again. Say it loud for the people in the back.
It's good to listen
My husband.
to the voice. It's good to listen to the voice of your wife. If God sent her to help you, use the equipment that he sent. And so at this time, I didn't want to go nowhere. I was like, I'm not going to no beach. She wanted to go to Rehoboth Beach. She said, let's take our skates and we'll skate on the boardwalk, right? So, of course, we went down there. We got to the beach. On the way to the beach, she saw a beautiful lake. She said, babe, can we take a picture at the lake? Of course, y'all know I like taking pictures. I said, sure, let's take a picture. So when we went to that road, I saw this smooth road. And, you know, Rehoboth is a very manicured area. And the road was like jet black, like they just paved it. The yellow lines in the middle looked like they just painted it, right? And I said, babe, I want to skate on this road, because we was looking for roads to skate, and this was amazing opportunity. And so I got my telephone. I was trying to find some music. I so happened to pick Mary J. Blige. I didn't even really know the song. It just had the tempo that we skate in the DC area. So I knew I can bop to it. I put my earphones on it, and I went ahead and skated to it. And I just posted on TikTok, and we were just posting. And I woke up that next morning, and I was getting calls from everywhere that it was on World Star Hip Hop, on Shade Room. They was calling. They were telling people to watch out for your grandmother.
Yeah.
Because they saw this great man. I'm telling you, the comments was hilarious. I mean, I was all on the floor. But that was God's doing. It was nothing that I did that I didn't ordinarily do. And I woke up and it was all over the world. And then people was calling me, and Steve Harvey was calling me to do interviews, and Usher was calling me to open up skating rings in London. Who would ever thought that those same skates I got arrested in would take me all around the world? I didn't. I give it all to God. I take no credit.
You don't know how God will use you. You just got to be open to be used.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I tell you, it got me through it, because I was locked in after that, and we actually met shortly after that and been cool ever since. And then you started dancing. You were in the midst and doing the skits. So whose ideas were those? Was that you or her?
It was all on. At first, my wife wasn't doing any TikToks. I discovered it because I was always a media guy, social media guy. I've been doing Facebook and skits and encouraging messages on Facebook for a long time. So when I finally got on TikTok, because nobody was on TikTok at the time. It was just the young people. No pastors, no celebrities. Nobody was on TikTok. So I did one, I think it was a voice over. And I noticed the numbers. The numbers were strange. I was like, man, that first video, it did like 80,000 views. You know, on Facebook, I was getting like 19 views. So I said, oh, this platform kind of moving a little bit. And so I started watching what the kids was doing. Then I could dance a little bit. I can do a little something. So, so I started learning the little trends and dances and stuff. And I started noting the numbers. The numbers was rising. I said, oh, this is a platform, because in my mind, I'm using the dancing and skating as a platform or bait to preach the gospel, because that's what I do. I'm a man of God. I use that bait to preach the God. I reel them in with skating and dancing so they can listen, so I can meet them where they are. Then it's easier to impart the gospel. And so I was getting a lot of older women on that, older and younger actually, and they was coming at me like vultures. My wife's like, I'm getting on this TikTok. She started seeing the comments, right? She's like, I'm jumping on this TikTok. And so we started dancing and, just having fun. Because, man, we were locked up in this house. My wife said, you do another TikTok in another area in this house, I'm going to crush you. We was all over the house, man. Just couldn't go out. Out. So that's how
It was the same over here, man. Same over here. And I thank you for keeping us entertained and laughing and all that during that time. Still today. I appreciate you, man.
And imparting the word. and imparting the word. Yeah, because we need is such a time as this. We need it.
Yeah, we need the word. We need to. I really had something I wanted to read to you guys. I'm gonna let you go. I ain't gonna hold you on.
Go ahead, read it.
But
Read it, Bishop. We
but
here for you.
those of them that may be watching or come back to rewatch the broadcast may grab this word from 2 Timothy chapter 1. It says, "For God have not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind." Right? See, the enemy, his job is to inflict fear, and faith and fear can't live in the same heart, right? And so he wants to paralyze us with fear. And about 97% of the things we fear don't never come to pass. And then fear trickles down to anxiety. And that's when you have to have a relationship with God to pray to get your mind right. So he says, not fear, but he's giving you power, he's giving you love, and he's giving you a sound mind. I declare and I decree that those that are watching right now, that your mind be stable, that you focus, that your faith be increased, that fear won't be a portion of your life, that whatever God says to you, you will be okay. Just hold on to your faith. We'll get through this together. And that's my word for you.
Thank you. Bishop, I got to get you to say, I got release, relief, reflection. What I'm missing?
Restore and rebuild.
I love it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Listen, hang in there with us real quick. We're going to bring, I lost the bishop. We're going to bring Bishop
Joe
back.
Joe,
And Joe. All
So
right.
Bishop,
So listen.
Go ahead, Doc. You got it.
No. I was going to say, this was a great show. Both of you were amazing. And I just wanted to thank you. But go ahead, Jamie.
Now, I was going to say now that we got Joe back, if he could just give him some encouraging words or based on what he heard from, share some insight on that.
Yeah, my brother, I want to encourage you to keep going forward and press toward the mark. What you have gone through, it's going to touch lives all over the world. I commend you for your courage, your boldness to share your story. Many persons have an inability to tell on themselves. They tell on everybody else, but they have an inability not to tell on themselves. And telling on yourselves keep you free, because dark secrets grow in the dark, but they burn out. They dissolve in the light. Let your light shine. Don't be ashamed. Your past was your past. And God used that past to bring you to a place where you are now, that you can impart strength and wisdom, that people know whatever you went through, you came out of, they can come out too. So continue to be a witness, be encouraged. I'm your brother. Anytime you need me, I'm there to talk to you, talk through. And sometimes, you just got to be able to talk to yourself. David encouraged himself in the Lord when he didn't have nobody else. He didn't have a confidant, because his confidants turned on him. He was able to encourage himself in the Lord and know that what God put in you, that he that began a good work shall complete it until the day of redemption. And so I want you to stay encouraged, man. Stay strong. It's not worth you giving up. Paul said something to the church in Thessalonica. He says, "Therefore, my brother, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain." He's going to get the glory after this. And then you keep on going. Keep on writing books. Keep on encouraging the world. We need you. When you feel down, look up, because the creator of all, the keeper of creation, is still with you, and he's walking with you. Be encouraged, my brother. Let your light shine before men, that they see your good works and glorify the Father in heaven. It's all about him at the end of the day. It's not even your story. It's his story. He just used you in it. So keep giving them glory and keep going forward. And God going to bless you. He's going to increase you. Your family going to be blessed. And I declare that and decree it for you. And that's your word of encouragement from the bishop. Bless you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Church.
All right.
Church. All right.
That's a
A
bad
blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all right with me.
And Joe, I would just add my little piece. I know you had a therapist, and I might be biased because this was my therapist on national TV. But if you ever need a great therapist, Dr. McAllister, hands down.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
I might be calling her too. I might be calling it too, because my congregation drive me crazy.
Yes. And you know what? It's very interesting, but I helped a friend of mine, Pastor Mark Gibson in North Carolina. He wrote a book and I was kind of helping him with it. I mean, it's an anthology, but it's about church, about not church hurt, but about leading and bleeding.
And bleeding,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And church leaders are truly hurting because they
yeah.
really have a lot to bear. Right. And
Yes.
sometimes it takes more, like I said, today, and I say it often, like you need Jesus and a therapist. I mean, some people just, you gotta have the other. And just like I tell people all the time, if you take medicine because the doctor gives it to you, don't reject therapy or psych medication, because God made us to fill in the gap. So man, this was a great show. Marcy had mentioned that Delegate Tolles was supposed to be here with us, but I don't think she was supposed to be here with us. You guys were supposed to be here today.
Definitely.
No,
Yes,
let me
this was good stuff.
this. Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for good. That's God's chemistry.
them?
The good, the bad, the absence, the mess ups. He put it all in the bowl and stir it up. So all of us, everything we did today, all the rearrangements, all the hassle, all the gettingness, that's God's mixture. And he's mixing it up and it
Yes,
came out good.
Indeed.
That lets
it
us know
did.
that we
It came out
God
better
anyway.
than good.
Yes.
It's good. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So look, we a little over time, but I'm okay with it. Like, guys, you guys were great. I just want to thank our listening audience. We got quite a few comments. If you tuned in late, definitely go back and watch from the beginning, because this was good stuff. If you joining us on a replay, make sure you hit us with a hashtag replay, so that we know that you were there. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, because we do look at this throughout the week and we will come back and answer your questions. Check us out on our webpage, www.thursdaytherapypod.com. And we're on all social media. So listen, guys, we just thank you. I'm gonna take you guys out, put you in the green room. Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, before you take them out, I want first both of them to get their social media handles so people can keep up with them, and then I want
Yes, and
Bishop
I'll
and
try to
Bishop
write
to
it.
give us and our listeners a word for this current climate we in with the current administration, and just positive words that get to tomorrow and the next 3.5, 4 years. Anything he could just share with all of us.
Okay.
So
You can
Joe gave us. Joe, was there anything else besides the link tree?
I mean, all my social media and book links are attached to this link tree, but it's at the Joe Braxton on Instagram and the Joe Braxton on TikTok. THEE Joe Braxton on TikTok. So,
No, okay, I ain't gonna be able to type that fast. So okay, go to link tree and find Joe.
yeah,
All right.
Joe Braxton.
And Bishop, you have a something you want us to put in?
Bishop O's everywhere. I mean, Bishop O's everywhere.
Bishop Oldes everywhere. Y'all got that. OLDES.
Don't forget that
Bishop Oldes. Thank you.
And Bishop,
Okay.
when you go back, if you go back through the chat, there's a couple of questions for you where you were skating at. So just go back, and if you can answer our audience about some of your questions. And Joe, you look for the questions for you also.
Okay.
And
Certainly.
you can also put your information in the chat too, so that people can see it in case they forget, or in case people didn't write it down.
Okay.
All right, Bishop. So I guess you got a word for us, because we need to hear a good word to get through what we going through.
Well, Psalms 27 says that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? He says, even when the wicked and the enemy come upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumble and they fail. He says, though an host shall encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. Here it is. For in a time of trouble, He shall hide me in his pavilion, in the secret of his tabernacle. God will hide us. God will keep us. God will cover us. It doesn't matter to me who's in the White House. God still sits on the throne. He has all control. He's sovereign. He's eternal. He's everlasting. He has the heart of every king and every president. And whatever God allows is as if God did it. And if we are his children, we will be taken care of. I don't care what goes down. If you lose a job, God will provide another one. If you go through trouble, he will make you creative, because you would not be creative if you're always comfortable. God is the author of our faith, and he's the finisher of our faith. So we're going to look to him. We ain't worrying about who sits in the White House. We know who sits on the throne. And I'm his child, and the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. So be not dismayed. Whatever betide, God will take care of us. He will supply all our needs. Paul said in Philippians 4:19 that my God shall supply all of my need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Then he backed that thing up and says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. Be strengthened, my brothers and sisters. Keep your head up. We in this together. We cannot lose. And the worst scenario is this, is that you die in it. But that's even a win, because the Bible says to live is Christ, but to die is gain. So we win either way. So hold your head up, hold your hope, and keep on moving in faith. Don't let the devil steal your faith. Here's my declaration. I need all of y'all to type this in the comments. I believe God. And that's my word. No matter what, I believe God. And watch this. The evidence of my faith, here's the evidence of my faith, is that I still believe God when I can't see it. I'm going to run that by you one more time. The evidence of my faith, that I still believe God even when I can't see it. Because faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. If I can do it, I don't need God. So God, I don't see it, but I trust you. And I praise you before I get it. That's the evidence of my faith. And the enemy wants your faith. And he comes with you with fear. Why does the enemy want your faith, Bishop? I'm glad you asked. Because it's impossible to please God without faith. He don't want your car. The devil don't want your job. The devil don't want your man. Sometimes you don't want him. Y'all ain't laughing, but I'm telling the truth. The devil is after your faith. Once he gets your faith, he can rob you from pleasing God. And if you don't have faith, you don't have expectation. And if you don't have expectation, you don't have no hope. And if you don't have no hope, there's no reason for you to live. I hope things get better. Well, I'm going to say it one more time, and I'm closing. You know, a good preacher closes twice, right? I'm going to say it one more time. He says, listen, he's after your faith. If he gets your faith, you have no expectation, right? If you have no expectation, you have no hope. And if you have no hope, you're never going to think things going to get better. And so I hope in our glory of God that he will pull us out together, and we will all have a testimony. So don't worry, brother. Don't be fearful. Keep your head up. God is not finished with us yet. You know, every time we go through struggle, listen, the people of God was in Israel, and the Bible says the more they were pressed, the more they grew. The more they were pressed, the more they grew. The more they were pressed, the more they grew. They can't stop what's in us. So lift your head. And don't worry if you're going to pray, and don't pray if you're going to worry.
Oh, Busy said we having church up in here, and I have to agree with her. This was amazing.
Cut me off. I've been to his church. That's a bad man. I've been to his church.
They better mess around. I won't be in Galilee Sunday.
Now, I don't want McGriff calling me. You better go to church. I don't want Pastor McGriff calling me. I know him. That's my personal friend.
What time is your service?
Yeah.
My 10 o'clock is at Drew Freeman, and my 1 o'clock is at the Black Box on Arc Theater. I got 2 services.
Drew Freeman is right around the corner from Galilee.
Yeah, we can make it.
I
see you Sunday. I see you Sunday. I'm gonna go to my 8 o'clock service though. I'm gonna go to the 8:45 service, but I'll see you at 10.
Oh, see,
I might have you get up and speak, and I refer some of my congregation to you because they need some therapy.
Well, I'm here for it. And I got a whole team. It's not even me by myself. I got a whole a whole
I might
team.
send
So
my
yeah.
whole leadership. I might send my whole leadership for some counseling.
So what we can talk about is the Christian response to mental illness. So I'm gonna talk to you about that because that's a thing I'm doing for Galilee. Because we not dealing with ourselves, or we not dealing Christianly with people who really have diagnosis. So we'll talk about that offline.
Okay,
But listen, you have blessed my soul.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Braxton.
Y'all know Jamie, my man, though, right? I'm
yes.
only on here because no, I'm just kidding. But
Jamie is that guy.
He is that guy. Jamie and the Rainer.
That guy.
That's my brother off the camera.
We love the Tylers.
We do.
The whole family. Yes.
Yeah. So
and Joe too.
Y'all doing a great work, and I speak prosperity and influence and expansion because the world need this. And so thank you for allowing me to come and share. I believe that God is going to expand. It's going to get in the right hands. People are going to be impacted and changed and motivated and inspired to live on. And so
we're going to have you back.
Oh, anytime.
We're going to have you back.
Yeah, and I'll have your number.
You get to Jamie, you get to me.
Ain't no okay.
That's my guy.
I'll have your number. So this is Jamie's associate.
Yeah, drop that name.
I got
that name. You drop that name, I drop everything. Because I was laying in the couch with my wife. It takes a lot. Huh?
Yeah. And vice versa. You know how we go.
Yeah, that's how we go. We brothers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. I love you.
Thank you.
For the opportunity to share my story on your platform. I'm so grateful. So when y'all really get big and stuff, when y'all get big and y'all go into y'all little studio and stuff, and it's in person, don't forget the little boy. All right, don't forget the little boy.
Well, listen, if you share our podcast on your platform, God's gonna answer that prayer. You got 9 million viewers.
9 million.
I'm speaking
a prophetic word.
Yeah. And so
yes, but please share among your people too. This show has been amazing. Joe, you've been amazing. Thank you for your vulnerability and sharing your story. Bishop is correct. I can tell you as a therapist, you are going to break a lot of barriers for a lot of men who've been in your situation. Thank you for the boldness for telling your story, and keep doing well. I'm going to call you too to talk offline about your children's book.
Okay.
Thank you all. Marcy, I'm going to put you guys in the green room. Y'all hang out for a second. Marcy.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to have a Marcy moment. I don't know if you had something prepared. Oh, I got rid of the Marcy, but I'm sorry.
Bishop closed us out, period. There's nothing else.
Okay, right? Like I was thinking that, but of course, if you had prepared something, I would not want to rob you of the opportunity. But guys, this was a great show.
It was amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Shout out to the Tylers who helped us out, like scramble at the last minute. Y'all don't know the love we put into our show to make sure we giving y'all good content. So thank you all for listening. I see my friend Charlie is on with us, and Gwen and Pee Wee is on. Kelly, Adeline Tatum is on. Listen, if you guys came in late, please go back and watch the entire show. It is absolutely fire, and it was a true word, what we really need, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
Jamie, what you got to say?
I got nothing. I'm in here shivering. But like I said, I've seen him in person, and I knew he was going to do what he was going to do. And I'm just thankful that he had time to do it. I'm good.
Well, of course, he, like everybody else we know, if Jamie Tyler asks, it's gonna get done because you just that guy. Everybody I've met through you have said that about you, and I feel the same way. If Jamie Tyler asked me to do it, I'm in.
It's done.
So yes. Listen,
Jamie
real quick, I do want to give people this. Yes, absolutely. I want to give people this just in case they didn't get a chance to write it down. But the scriptures that were mentioned are important, right? Because we do need to be in the word during this time. 2 Timothy chapter 1, Romans 8:20, Psalms 27. I'm going to read that joint every day. Philippians 4:19. Okay, so hopefully you all got that. If not, just rewind and hear it on the replay. I'm going to take us out, but thank you guys for those of you who look, our audience stayed with us and we 15 minutes over. Y'all are truly the best audience ever. Thank y'all for listening. God bless you. Good night. All right, I'm going to take us out, guys. Y'all good?
Good. Yeah. Drinking my 202.
She's Tyreese McAllister, the therapist on the mic, bringing mental health wisdom, shining bright like a light. Guiding souls to peace, leading minds to the right. With her codes by her side, they soar to new heights. Marcy Trueheart in the mix, mental health advocate, speaking truth, sparking change, grinding like a maverick. Empowering minds, lifting spirits, it's never too late. Together with the crew, just trying to do great. Jamie Tyler in the house, a TV star, champion mental health, taking it far, sharing stories, inspiring minds, raising the bar, with codes by the side, reaching for the stars. Thursday therapy, breaking stigmas all around. With this crew, they here for the town. Mental health help, spreading love profound. Their voices echo loud with a resounding sound. Thursday therapy, here to make a change, spreading love, sharing knowledge in a world so strange. Tyreese, Marcy, Jamie on this mental health range, standing united this far from a game.